The tournament we have all been waiting for is this weekend, Nationals. Nationals is a 20-team, 4-day tournament where the top teams in North America battle against each other to crown a champion. There are 4 pools with 5 teams each. The top 3 teams in each pool make the bracket, with the winner from each pool getting a bye to the quarterfinals. Today, I will preview the 20 teams and predict the pools and bracket. Before we start, let me know your Nationals predictions. The 1 seed is UMass Zudisk, who took 2nd place at all regular season tournaments they attended: Florida Warm-Up, Smoky Mountain Invite, and Easterns. Can Zudisk peak at the right time and win the most important tournament of the year? 2 seed Oregon Ego started off the season winning their first 2 tournaments, PacCon and President's Day Invite, but could not continue the trend for the rest of the season. They have wins and losses to the 3, 4, and 5 seeds, Colorado, Carleton, and UNC, and 1 loss to UMass. They have a chip on their shoulders from last year's Nationals. Let's see if they bank it in. 3 seed Colorado Mama Bird are riding a 15-game win streak, and they won the biggest regular season tournament in the process, Easterns. Out of their 4 losses, Colorado was able to beat 3 of the other teams at some point during the season, with California being the only team who they have not been able to beat. 4 seed Carleton Cut has looked stronger than ever. Their 3 losses have come to the 3 teams ranked above them. They won Florida Warm-Up and are poised to make a run. Let's see if Carleton can actually make the bracket at Nationals this year. 5 seed UNC Darkside won Queen City Tune-Up and Smoky Mountain Invite. Their 3 losses are to Georgia Tech, who's not at Nationals, Oregon, which was a consolation game, and a Universe point to Colorado, who they did beat at Smoky Mountain Invite. This team knows how to win and plans to do it again. 6 seed Cal Poly Slope Corps won Santa Barbara Invite and might have the best trio in the college scene. Their finals run last year gives this team the experience they need to make another run this year. Don't be surprised if they do it again. 7 seed UC Santa Cruz Slugs have only played in West Coast tournaments, so they haven't had much opportunity to play many teams at Nationals. They've been able to put up wins against Cal, but have failed to beat Oregon and a fully rostered Cal Poly Slow. 8 seed Oregon State Beavers won Northwest Challenge and is glad to not have to face Oregon in pool play, as they are 0-7 against them this year. When things are clicking, they're a very hard team to stop. 9 seed Washington University Contra have not played many games against national teams this year. Their best win came against Texas in the South Central Regional Semifinals, where they won 13-7. They have good players, but we haven't seen them compete against the top-end talent to know where they truly lie. 10 seed California Ursa Major is trying to make one more push with Dexter Clyburn. They have beaten Colorado at President's Day Invite and have multiple wins against Northeastern. They're hoping for some poor weather so they can pull out their signature Calzone. 11 seed Northeastern Huskies put themselves on the map with a strong performance at President's Day Invite. They took Oregon's Universe and beat Colorado in the 3rd place game. They're capable of playing up to the top teams, but also have shown that they can crumble quickly against the same teams. 12 seed Texas Tough has had an up and down season. They started off hot, finishing 3rd at Florida Warm-Up, but proceeded to play poorly against top-ranked teams during the rest of the regular season. If this trend continues, they may struggle in pool play. 13 seed Vermont Chill is coming into the weekend with a losing record, but they still have wins against other teams at this tournament. They have also had Universe losses to Carleton and Oregon at Smoky Mountain Invite. Zach Watson-Stevens got injured at regionals, and it's unclear if he will be healthy for Vermont this weekend. 14 seed Georgia's best win is against UMass at Florida Warm-Up. They've been able to hang on with teams like Oregon and Colorado, but haven't been able to seal a victory against another top team this season. 15 seed British Columbia Thunderbirds barely made it to Nationals. They've been able to beat UC Santa Cruz and Western Washington multiple times, but that's mainly it. They need to make an upgrade from the regionals gameplay if they want to make the bracket at Nationals. 16 seed Penn State Spank does really good against teams they're better than and really bad against teams they're worse than, with a few exceptions sprinkled in. Their game against Wash U in pool play will be pivotal for both teams. 17 seed Utah Zion Curtin has a hard path to make the bracket this year. They are 2-7 this season against other teams at nationals. They peaked to perform well at regionals, entering as the 9 seed, claiming a bid. Will they be able to continue that trend at nationals? 18 seed Western Washington Dirt has had a good regular season, coming in second at both Stanford Invite and Northwest Challenge. They've been able to play tight games against teams like Oregon State and Santa Cruz. They seem like a team who can threaten to make the bracket. 19 seed Michigan Magnum only attended 2 regular season tournaments, Florida Warm-Up and Easterns, where Aaron Bartlett was injured. I think this team can sneakily make a run to the bracket like they did last year. 20 seed Ottawa GGs have lost 1 game this year, and that was to Cornell. They haven't played against a team that is at this tournament. They are reasonably ranked as the 20th seed, but who doesn't love a good underdog story? Pool A has a chance to get messy, but I think it goes to chalk. UMass has been too dominant this year to lose in pool play. The Zach Watson-Stevens injury to Vermont is a big hit. They're not out of it, but it's much harder for them to make a run. UMass wins the pool, with Oregon coming in second and Texas in third. Pool B is my pool of death. Oregon should win the pool, and I will predict them to, but I could see anything happening. I think any permutation of the 2 through 5 seeds is viable here. I think Northeastern will play up to their competition and take the 2 seed. I want Western Washington to make the bracket, but I feel like Santa Cruz will snake by them. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a 3-way tie of those 3 teams going 2-2 either. Either way, this leaves Georgia at the 5 seed for me, which could easily bite me in the butt. Pool C is a close second on a pool of death. The top seed is not locked up, as Colorado versus Cal Poly Slow is a staple at nationals. Slowcore beat Mama Bird on Universe, which had Slowcore win their pool last year. I think the roles will be reversed, with Colorado winning the pool and Slowcore coming in second. Out of the 3 remaining teams, I am taking Michigan to claim the 3rd spot in the pool, making the bracket once again. Pool D has 2 games worth watching in my eyes. Carleton versus UNC and Wash U versus Penn State. I think UNC comes into this tournament with a little bit of spice, as they feel like this may be their last year as a true title favorite, and they win this game and the pool. Wash U versus Penn State will be the game to determine 3rd place in the pool. I think Penn State will take the win. The rest of the pool will go to chalk, but I hope Ottawa can prove me wrong. This is what my bracket looks like if my pool play predictions are accurate. In my eyes, the top 6 seeds should be 6 of the 8 teams in the quarterfinals, with the other 2 teams being up in the air. My predictions have Northeastern and Oregon State making quarters, but eventually losing in quarters. Once we have the games between the top 6 teams is where I'm starting to perk up in the bracket. UNC versus Cal Poly Slow is a rematch of last year's semifinals, where UNC blew a massive lead. This year, UNC holds that lead and heads to the semis. Colorado versus Carleton is another nail-biter. I could see this going either way, but I have Colorado going to semis. Both UMass and Oregon will win as well. Colorado versus Oregon is a game with 2 teams who may have the highest ceilings in the division. Both teams have countless stars, but I think Colorado takes this one. I realized earlier in the year that they weren't crossing over their O-liners to D-line that often, and I think preserving their top guys' legs just this little bit is going to play a big role in the tournament. UNC versus UMass is a matchup we saw at Smoky Mountain Invite Finals, where UNC won on Universe. I think that trend continues with UNC winning and going to the finals. UNC versus Colorado is my finals. I've been on the UNC train for a while this season, and I think it keeps on chugging. Ben Dameron and Tobias Brooks may be the 2 best players in the nation, but UNC has been a dynasty for the past decade. I think 2025 seals off the dynasty, ending it with a championship. UNC wins for the 4th time in 5 years. When making predictions this year, this is the least confident I've been. I could really see any of the top 6 teams winning, and have a gut feeling on Cal Poly Sun. I just don't see them matching up with UNC well. If they can make the bracket or they avoid Darkside, I could see them making the finals again this year. Overall, Nationals is always unpredictable, but it's also a wonderful weekend of Frisbee. Let me know who you think will win this year. And finally, if you're playing, I wish you the best of luck. Otherwise, enjoy the chaos.